Hey guys, welcome back for week 5 of, since we've been last in class. I just wanted to let you guys know that, obviously with the announcement this week that we won't come back to school, I just want to let you know that I'm here for you if you need anything. If you are struggling with anything, let me know. I know this isn't obviously the ideal way to finish out your senior year, but hopefully you guys are making the best of it. So if you look at the assignments, we're going to be continuing with Lord of the Flies, and we're going to be doing most of the same things throughout each week. So if you look at here, I'm having you do another journal entry for chapters 3 and 4. So a couple questions I got in the emails that I just wanted to make perfectly clear. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do 2 paragraphs per chapter. I'm asking you to do 2 paragraphs per section. So you have to do 2 paragraphs for chapters 3 and 4. Okay, so you're only doing 2 paragraphs total. So you pick a character, so you should have already picked your character that you're going to be following throughout the novel, right? So if you pick Ralph for the first journal entry, then you're going to pick Ralph again for the next journal entry, and so on and so forth, okay? You're going to stick with them. And then when I say that you need to write these in the first person or I form, that means you are writing as if you are that person. So if you're writing as Ralph, you said, man, I didn't know where I was at. I got off of this plane crash and I saw this fat kid, right? And that would be first person Ralph. So again, you're doing 2 paragraphs for whoever you pick. And so if it's Ralph, it's Ralph. If it's Piggy, you do 2 paragraphs for Piggy, Sam, and Eric, etc. Okay, so you pick the same character throughout to do the journal entry for. Okay, so again, this is to characterize, where we're trying to get inside the minds of these characters, and try to figure out what makes them tick. I think Ralph is really interesting because he's hard to understand, right? I mean, people picked him as his leader, yet sometimes he seems so insensitive towards Piggy. At other times he seems more melancholic and thoughtful, and so he's a very interesting, dynamic character. The same thing goes for a lot of these characters, right? Like Simon is going to be interesting as well. So again, the idea is to characterize, get inside these characters' minds, to try and figure out what makes them tick. Okay. So again, 2 paragraphs total. So not 2 paragraphs per chapter, but 2 paragraphs total. So then along with that, you still need to finish your posts for the Lord of the Flies symbols. Okay. So this is like I said last time, I'm splitting this book up into 4 parts. And so the first part, which is basically chapters 1 through 4, we're focusing on symbols. So if you look at it, basically, again, what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to take a character and connect them to an object or an image. And you try to show how that image reflects that character, as well as what kind of idea or theme does that image reflect in the story. So since we read the first 2 chapters, I feel okay talking about this, but so say we take the character Ralph, right? Ralph is the leader. He's the person who's trying to keep these boys organized. And then a certain object that kind of sticks out with Ralph would be the conch. That sort of seashell thing that he blows on to get the characters to congregate together. So that's the image, and that's a character that I can connect, right? Because Ralph uses the conch. That's kind of his associated object. So then I think to myself, okay, first, like, what does that object look like in my regular life? What do I think that object can usually represent? Well, conch is like seashells, so it can represent some sort of like playful sort of attitude, or it represents sunshine and happiness, right? It has to be by the water to thrive. And then I think, okay, what does this object kind of represent as a theme in the story? So if you think about this, in terms of theme, that conch, again, it kind of, if you think about it, these boys get together and they begin to organize because this conch was blown. It could represent civilization or democracy, sort of that idea or theme that civilization is key to organization or something like that. That could be, coincide with the conch. With Piggy, he has other objects that are associated with him, such as his glasses. Think of like Jack's knife. Think of the fire. Those are all different objects and images that you could use for this assignment. Okay, so that's that assignment, and this is actually due this Sunday, right? So I gave you 2 weeks to do this assignment because it's through 4 chapters. You're supposed to do 4 posts. But this assignment is due this Sunday now. So make sure you get that done and you stay on top of that. I also am having you guys fill up a book talk update. This is to remind you guys that our book talks are coming up. Today's the 19th. Book talks are due on May 1st. So that would be next Friday. So if you're not very far along on your book, you need to make sure you get on it. So for this assignment, I'm just having you guys tell me in 4 to 5 sentences, you tell me what's happened in your book this far. So you basically just give me a summary. And then you tell me what page you're on and tell me how many pages there are in the book. So I'm on page 200 of 406, yada, 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 yada. Make sure you do this. Make sure you don't cheat it out. I don't see any viable excuses onto why you didn't finish a book. I know that life is a little bit hectic and different right now. However, I think most of us are finding ourselves inside more than usual based on that's the orders to stay inside. So I expect that you guys have time on your hands. And, the majority of you have told me already that you have a book that you're reading. So I expect that book to be read. So make sure you do that. And I'll be sharing books with you guys that I've read over, this time. I think I've read about 6 books in the last 3 weeks. So again, that's not to brag about it, but I feel pretty good about that. But just to show you that, again, I have a lot of things going on. I have, kids to worry about, focus on. I have my job. I also am going to school, and I find time, to read. And so I hope that you guys can find that time as well, and you can begin to work on and finish up those book talks. Okay, guys, let me know if you have any questions. Have a good week. Email me, and then realize I'm going to be meeting with you guys again on Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 1. So, bring forth your questions there. Not many of you have been getting on lately, and I know it's because it's the beginning of the quarter. Maybe you don't have a lot of questions, but again, it's better to not procrastinate these things. Get on now, fix your grade now, work with me now, ask questions now, because we're going to be, working through these concepts right now. We're going to do symbolism, and we'll do some other things later as well. Okay, guys, have a good week.